45 states starting this month for the low income. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. Also, a huge thank you to today's video sponsor, Audible, but more on them in just a minute. All right, now in this video, I want to share with you the details of what is going on starting this month across 45 states that is going to directly impact tens of millions of low income and fixed income beneficiaries all across the country. Now, this is very important and exactly why I want to bring this to your attention right here in this video. Now, the reason that I'm saying 45 states is because 5 states actually started last month in April, and the other 45 states are starting right now this month. So let's get into it and discuss all the details. However, really fast before we do, a big thank you to today's video sponsor, Audible, one of my all-time favorite apps. Audible offers an incredible selection of audiobooks from every genre, including bestsellers and new releases, celebrity memoirs, mysteries, thrillers, motivation, wellness, business, and so much more. With a powerful library of self-help titles on Audible, I encourage you to get started with your free trial today. I think we can all probably agree we're living through a pretty stressful and confusing time. One thing that I found for me to remain balanced and grounded after a stressful day is by listening to audiobooks on Audible. For example, one book that I recently finished listening to is 10% Happier by Dan Harris, where he talks about the power of meditation. Listening to stories and books allows us to see the world through other people's eyes and helps us gain a better understanding of what's going on around us, ultimately helping us achieve a more peaceful mind. If you'd like to try Audible, new members can now get 30 days for free by using my link down below in the description or simply by texting blindtobillionaire to 500-500. Again, make sure to check out my link down below in the description to grab your 30 days for free or simply by texting blindtobillionaire to 500-500. As a new member, you'll get to choose one title per month that you get to keep out of the entire catalog, including the latest bestsellers and new releases. Members also get full access to a growing selection of included audiobooks, Audible originals, and podcasts. You can download the included titles all you want. All right, now let's discuss what is starting this month for those 45 states all across the country and encompassing about 100 million low-income Americans. Now, this is something that I've talked about here on the channel for the last year or so, and as of recently, we got some new changes out of Congress where they passed the cancellation of the Public Health Emergency Declaration, and it was signed into law by the president about a month ago. Well, as a result of this, we are now seeing about 100 million low-income Americans all across the country who are being removed from Medicaid and asked to reapply for your services. Well, as a result of that, we had 5 states that actually started removing people last month in April. Now we have the other 45 states that are going to be removing people between the months of May, June, and July. As a result of that, this is very, very important, and I was out about a month ago in a separate video talking about a letter that you're likely going to be receiving from your state or Medicaid asking you to essentially enroll in Medicaid and qualify that you are actually eligible for these services. If you don't do that, you may actually lose coverages from Medicaid, which is exactly why I'm making such a big deal about this and why I'm talking about it, because here's the thing. How many of us receive some kind of letter, we maybe open it, maybe not in most cases, and we think, no, we'll look at it at some point in the future, and then eventually we maybe never get to it, or maybe we open it up and think, nah, we'll get to this later, I'm good, and then maybe you come across it a month or 2 or 6 or a year later or never again, and as a result of that, that is why this is such a big deal, because basically what the states are saying is that we're going to reach out to you either by electronic communication or we're going to reach out by a letter in the mail, basically asking you to verify a bunch of your information to make sure that you're still eligible for Medicaid services. If you don't do that, you may be losing coverages from Medicaid. So this is a big, big deal. Now, here's what's interesting about this. Starting way back in early 2020, so like well over 3 years ago, something was put in place called the Public Health Emergency Declaration because of everything going on at that time. One of the major provisions within this was essentially the states cannot unenroll, or basically they can't take anybody off of Medicaid during that period of time. Well, it was about 3 years as far as those provisions being in place from 2020 out until about a month ago, right? Until about early April is when this was actually canceled. Well, as a result of that, during that 3-year period of time, virtually anybody could enroll in Medicaid and basically they would get accepted into the program because there were basically no parameters. Basically, they said, we have to enroll people that apply, and then we cannot disenroll or unenroll people out of Medicaid as a result of the public health emergency declaration. So we had a huge influx of people enrolling in Medicaid, about 100 million people total at the peak. Well, then as a result of that, we started to look at the numbers and we saw all the reports coming out suggesting, well, when the public health emergency declaration ends, there's going to be anywhere between about 6.3 and 25 million people that are going to be losing Medicaid coverages. Now, I completely understand. That is a huge wide spread right there between 6.3 and 25 million, but literally every report that I read about it gave different estimates. I saw numbers, like I said, as low as 6.3 million. I saw numbers around 11, 15, 18 million, 21, 25 million, saw numbers all across the board. But regardless of how we look at it, it looks like millions upon millions of people will be losing Medicaid coverages. And as a result of that, that's why we got to continue watching for this communication, okay? So like I said, last month, April, we had 5 states that started the purge, okay? They started it, and basically they were the pioneers in this space. Now again, pioneers not necessarily in a good way, but this is what's going to be happening. Now, the other 45 states are starting now, right now, this month, next month, and the month after that. These are the 3 major months right now where basically all 45 states are going to be moving forward with removing people off of Medicaid. So here's what I really want to encourage you to do. If you are somebody enrolled in Medicaid, not to be mistaken with Medicare, 2 very different programs, but Medicaid, if you're one of the nearly 100 million people, please watch your communications, your email, your physical mail, as in your paper mail that arrives. Again, watch out for things, phishing, things like that are maybe trying to act like Medicaid. Okay, please be very aware of those as well, but just be prepared. You're likely going to receive some type of communication in your mailbox or maybe electronic communications. Apparently, there's 13 states out there that have electronic communications set up. But the other states, again, the other out of the 40, well, out of the 50, obviously. So the other, 37 states? The other 37 states will be doing it by paper or something like that. So just be aware, you're likely going to receive something. If you receive some type of communication, please respond to that rapidly. That's what they're asking as well. Please respond promptly because they have a lot of applications to process, and virtually what it looks like, according to the research that I've done and according to what I've been reading on this, is going to be a general form asking for some information, right? Now, again, please do not leave this information down below in the comment section. It's not my business. I don't want this information about you, but here is what the form is likely going to ask from you. Obviously, name, birth date, address. It may ask for a social. I'm not sure, but just be aware it may ask for that. It's going to ask for income verification. It's going to ask for benefits that you might be receiving. It's going to ask for things like household size. How many people are living in your household? It's going to ask a bunch of different verification questions, okay? Now, again, the forms will probably be different based on the state that you're located in, but these are some of the general parameters that they're going to be looking for, okay? So just watch for that communication. Now, again, please be very aware of the communications that you're receiving. Don't just fill out any, form that you receive in your mailbox and just send it back. That, verify that what you're receiving is actually accurate and it's actually from the source that you want to give your information to, which would be your state, to verify your eligibility for Medicaid coverages, okay? Again, I know I'm making kind of a big deal about this, but they've indicated, we know for a fact, millions upon millions of people will be losing Medicaid coverages. We know that's already a thing. How many millions of people? Well, that's up for grabs right now. It could be anywhere between about 6.3 and 25 million people. That's a lot of people that are going to be losing coverages. We also know, based on the statistics, based on the reports, based on everything that I'm reading about this, they're saying that unfortunately there will be people that are eligible for Medicaid that will be losing coverages simply because they didn't fill out the form or respond back, okay? So we know that as well. That's why I'm making such a big deal, because I want to make sure that you have your coverages. If you're eligible, you got to make sure that you're covered, okay? The worst thing that we would want is that in the event that you go in somewhere and you hand over your card and they say, I'm sorry, but you're not covered. You don't have coverages here. You don't have Medicaid anymore, okay? We would not want that to happen. Anyway, please be aware that you're going to be receiving some type of communication. Maybe it's this month, maybe it's next, maybe it's the month after, maybe it's sometime over the next few months here, but this is what we can anticipate, and this is what I wanted to bring to your attention. So Anyway, hope this one helps you out. Again, please make sure to subscribe down below. Share this video with your friends, family, social media, or anybody that you may know is enrolled in Medicaid so they can be aware of what's going on, as this is all happening now, and it's going to be happening for the next couple months here. Anyway, hope this helps you out. Again, make sure to check out the links down below in the description for the sponsor here on the channel. Again, Audible, thank you so much for the sponsor here on this video. Truly do appreciate it. Again, I absolutely love Audible. I use it all the time, literally every single day, constantly listening to audiobooks all the time. Love it. So anyway, check out the links down below in the description for your 30-day free trial right there. Pretty awesome stuff. Try it out if you like it. I mean, obviously, check it out. I'm a huge fan. Been using Audible for years. My wife and I, we have over 150 books in our Audible account. So again, we're avid listeners. Love it. Anyway, check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe down below. Enjoy your day. Take care. Have a good one, and catch you again later.